Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Miss Diba, your teacher for today's lesson. How are you today? I hope all of you are doing well and stay safe. So, what we are going to learn today? As stated in previous video, today we are going to learn about variance and standard deviation. Alright, before we started our lesson, I would like to share to you the lesson outcome for this subtopic. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to determine the range, interquartile range, variance and standard deviation as a measure to describe dispersion of an ungrouped data. So last week, we have learned how to determine range and interquartile range. So today, I will continue our lesson on how to determine variance and standard deviation. Variance and standard deviation is included in topic 8, which is measures of dispersion. So, are you guys ready? Let's start our lesson today. Variance and standard deviation. Variance and standard deviation are the measures of dispersion commonly used in statistics. What is variance? Variance is the average of the square of the difference between each data and the mean. The unit for variance is square of the unit for the data set. For example, data measured in unit centimeter, then the unit variance for that data is centimeter square. So other example, data measured in units meter, then the unit variance for that data is meter square. Next, what is standard deviation? Standard deviation is the square root of the variance, which means, square root of the variance. Square root of the variance, we can find standard deviation. A small standard deviation means that the values tend to be close to their mean. And a large standard deviation means that the values are widely scattered about their mean. The unit for standard deviation is equal to the units of original data. Now, we will look at the variance and standard deviation of ungrouped data. To find variance, we need to use formula for variance of ungrouped data. The formula is variance is equal to the sum of x minus x bar squared over n, or this is the alternative method to find variance. Variance is equal to the sum of x squared over n minus x bar squared, where x bar is equal to mean. This one, x bar is equal to mean. Mean is x over n. X is the data, n is the number of data. This one is also x is the data. And so for the alternative method, x is the data, x squared over n. N is the number of data minus x bar squared. X bar is mean. How to find mean? This is the formula for mean. Mean is the sum of x is the data, over n. N is the number of data. So next, how to find standard deviation of ungrouped data. This is the formula. First, standard deviation is equal to square root of variance. This one, square root of variance. This formula. Or we can use the alternative method. Standard deviation is equal to square root of this formula variance, square root of variance. Now, let's try example 1. Determine the variance of the set of data 2, 4, 5, 5, 6. There are 2 steps to solve this question. Step 1. Determine the mean. The second step is determine the variance using the formula of variance. Let's look at the next video on how to determine the variance.
Hi, okay. So now you look at example 1. Okay, so here we have the data. This is the data and we use this formula to find variance. Okay, it said to find variance. Alright, so this one. What is this one? This one is x bar. X bar is equal to mean. Alright, before we find a variance, we must find mean first. This one is mean. Okay, mean is equal to the sum of data. X is data. This one, the sum of data. And divided by n. What is n? N is the number of data. Okay, the number of data. We have how many numbers of data here? We have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Alright, so, alright. Okay, let's find mean first. Okay, what is the formula of mean? This one, x bar, mean is x bar is equal to the sum of data, this one, equal to the number of data. So we have the sum of data, 2 plus 4 plus 5, 5, 6. We have how many data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, divided by 5. And then we will get this one 22 over 5 and 4.4. So the mean is 4.4. Alright, step 2, we have to find variance. What is the formula of variance? Okay, variance is, this is the symbol of variance, sigma square is equal to the sum of x is the data, minus x bar, x bar. What is x bar? X bar is mean, right? We have find mean just now. Okay, determine mean, we got mean 4.4 and then square. Divided by n. N is the number of data. So how to find variance? Okay, this is the formula of variance. Okay, this is the symbol of variance. Variance square is equal to the sum of data. Data, this is x is our data, 2. We take 2 minus x bar. X bar is our mean, 4.4. Alright, you can see that 4.4 and square. Plus, okay, data, we have data minus 4.4 our mean, x bar and then square divided by n. N is what? The number of data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 and then the answer is we got the variance is 1.84. Okay, for this example 1.
There's also alternative method to find variance. Let's look at the next video on how to determine variance using alternative method.
Okay, to find variance, we have alternative method. Okay, the formula for alternative method to find variance is sigma square is equal to the sum of x square over n minus x bar square. Okay, so what is the sum of x square? X square, we know the data, right? Data we have 2, 4, 5, 5 and 6. Okay, x square, so we have 2, x is data 2 plus 4 equal to n. What is n? 5, right? And then we have mean. Mean the formula of mean, there is no alternative method for the formula of mean. We have only for variance, okay? So for me, you just take as we do just now, 4.4, and don't forget square, okay? Students always forget to write this square. Okay, this one you can use your calculator, okay? So the answer is 1. Okay, so we got this, and the last answer is 1.84. Also same with the first method just now. This one is for alternative method. You can use either the formula just now we use, or this one, alternative method, okay?
Let's move to example 2. Determine the standard deviation of the set of data 5, 7, 8, 8, 10, 13, 15, 16, 16, and 20. There are 3 steps to solve this question. The first step is determine the mean. The second step is determine the variance using the formula of variance. The third step is determine the standard deviation using the formula of standard deviation. Let's look at the next video on how to determine the standard deviation.
Okay students, now we move to example 2. Okay, so determine the standard deviation. The question was standard deviation, and this is the data. Data is x, right? Alright, so the first step is we must find mean first. Okay, to find standard deviation or variance, we must find mean. Okay, so mean, this is the formula of mean like we learned in example 1. So I will not show this. So I will continue to find the mean. Mean is x bar is equal to the sum of x. Okay, the sum of x. We must add all this data, 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 20. Okay, over n. What is n? N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10 number of data. Then what is the answer? Answer of mean is 11.8. Okay. Step 2, we find the variance. Okay. So what is the formula of variance? This one I use alternative method for find variance. Okay, there are 2 formula, okay, to find variance, so I use the alternative method. And then okay, you can see this is the mean formula, this is the variance formula. So why we have to find mean first? Because in the variance formula there is mean. Okay, there is mean, so that's why it's easier for us to find mean first in order to get the variance. Okay, so we just put the variance. Okay, variance is sigma square is equal to the sum of data squared. Okay, this is the data, right? So 5 squared plus 7 squared, 8 squared until 20 squared divided by n. N is the number of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 minus what? This one is mean, x bar, right? This one is x bar squared. X bar, we have find mean just now. X bar is equal to mean, okay? We have find mean just now. We got 11.8 squared. And then the answer for variance is 21.56. Okay, you guys can calculate this with calculator, okay? Standard deviation is square root of variance. So we have find the variance right just now. So for the standard deviation, just square root 21.56, and the answer is 4.6433. Okay, this one is 4 decimals. Okay, this is the answer for example 2. Thank you.
Do you guys still okay? I hope that all of you can follow me. So let's move to the part B. Standard deviation and variance of ungrouped data in a frequency table. So in this part B, we will going to learn about the variance and standard deviation for ungrouped data in a frequency table. So what is the formula for variance of ungrouped data in a frequency table? Okay, variance is equal to sum of fx squared over the sum of f minus x bar squared, where f is equal to frequency, x is equal to the number of data, and x bar is equal to mean. How to find mean? Mean the sum of fx over the sum of f. Remember, f is frequency, x is the number of data. So, the formula for standard deviation of ungrouped data in a frequency table, remember, in a frequency table, okay, if the data give in the frequency table, you must use this formula, these two formulas. So, for the standard deviation, this is the symbol for standard deviation. It didn't has squared, while variance has squared. So, standard deviation is equal to square root of variance. Okay, let's look at the example 3. The table shows the number of books read by a group of students in a particular month. This is the table, the frequency table, as I mentioned before. Okay, number of books 0, number of students 3, number of books 1, number of students 5, 2, 8, 3, 2, 4, and 2. So calculate the variance and standard deviation for the number of books read. So as we can see now, this is the frequency table. So the number of books is X, which is the number of data, and number of students is F, which is the frequency. So if we see this frequency table, we must use the formula for frequency table. There are 3 steps to solve this question. The first step is determine the mean. The second step is determine the variance using the formula of variance. And the third step is determine the standard deviation. To find the standard deviation, we can use alternative method 1 and alternative method 2. So, for more explanation, let's look at the video on how to determine the variance and standard deviation for the frequency table.
Okay, student, are you still okay? Do you still can follow me? Okay, I hope all of you can follow me, okay? So, next question is example 3. The table shows the number of books read by a group of students in particular month. Okay, so calculate the variance and standard deviation. Okay, the number of students. This one is frequency. If you find this frequency table, okay, you must use this formula. Mean is just the same, but it just use frequency. Okay, frequency. This one is frequency. What is frequency? This one is frequency, and this one, the number of book is X. Okay, F is frequency, number of book, this one is X. X is the number of data. Okay. So the first step is find mean. Mean is x bar, right? F is 3. Okay, x the sum. Okay, remember the sum of fx. F is 3, x is 0, and then plus 5. The x is 1. Fx divided by the sum of x. The sum of x is, we sum all this frequency, 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2 plus 2, and then we got the answer 1.75. This is mean. The second step is find the variance. What is the formula of variance for frequency, ungrouped data frequency table? So this is the formula of variance. Sigma squared is this equal to the sum of fx squared. This one is f, right? 3 and then 0. 0 is the number of data x. 0 and then squared plus 5 frequency, and then 1 is x squared. We divided by the sum of x. Okay, sum of f. 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, and then don't forget to minus 1.75, which is mean. And don't forget to write square. So the answer for variance is 1.2875 for decimal places. Okay, now we need to find the standard deviation. How to find standard deviation? Okay, standard deviation is square root variance 1.2875. The last answer is 1.1347. Okay, this is the answer for this question. Okay, for example 3, which is we have the question is for ungrouped frequency table, right? So we can use two methods. Okay, we have another alternative method. Okay, as you can see here, this is the alternative method. Okay, alternative method for example 3. We can use a table also to find mean, variance, and standard deviation. So we look at the formula first. This one is mean, the formula of mean, the formula of variance, and the formula of standard deviation. The formula, we have x, f, and then fx. Okay, this one fx, x squared, and we have fx squared. Firstly, we write all the data that have given in the table. Okay, the table has given us the data, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4, and then the frequency also, the table state the frequency also, 3, 5, 8, 2, 2, and then fx. What is fx? Fx is the data multiplied by frequency, okay? Which means 0 multiplied by 3, 1 multiplied by 5, 2 multiplied by 8. Okay, so we got 0, 5. So x squared, what is x squared? X squared is data. This data, you just square it. Okay, so we got 0, 0, 1. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. Okay, so Next is this column fx squared. F this one multiplied by x squared this one. So 3 times 0, 0, 5 times 1, 1. 8 times 4, 32. Okay, this is the sum of frequency is 20. We want the sum, right? This one, and then fx squared, the fx, okay, we want also fx 35, and we also want fx squared. So this one is y 87. So from this we can continue to make the to use from this we can use the formula. Okay, first one we find mean. X bar is equal to the sum of fx. The sum of fx is 35 equal the sum of fx is divided by the sum of f. What is the sum of f? That is 20. And the mean is 1.75. Also same with the first method just now, right? Okay, you can use any method that you feel you are comfortable with. Okay. So and then second is variance. Okay, second is variance. So the formula is variance is this one sigma square, the sum of fx square 87. Okay, we just put in the formula. So 87 we have the sum of f is 20 minus x bar squared. X bar squared is 1.75 mean, okay, mean squared. And then we got the answer 1.2875. And then lastly we find the standard deviation. So standard deviation, what is the formula of standard deviation? The deviation is the square root of variance. Okay, so variance just now we got this 1.2875. Square root of 1.2875 is 1.1347. Okay, it's also same with the first method. So you can use either the first method or this method, second method. Okay, so you can use any method that you are comfortable with. Okay, I'm just okay with that.
Students, you are given homework on textbook page 237 and 238. So please complete it before our next class. Anything, if you have problem or something, you can contact me, okay? So that's it. Thank you.